The secret to better health. 5 simple steps. So if you're driving or working out, just listen in. I'm going to share with you directly the secret to better health in 5 simple steps. If you do have access to pen and paper, you may want to grab that pen and paper and take some notes, because there might be some things you want to lock down in your memory, right? So you can write down on paper, lock down in memory, so that you have it so you don't forget it. To start off, the secret to health, or the secret to better health, is to have a clear, specific fitness goal. I can't tell you how important this is. If you don't already have it, if you do already have it, great. If you're open to it, put a 1 in the chat if you already have a clear, specific goal. If you don't have a clear, specific goal, if you're open to it, put a 2 in the chat. So either way, we're going to do a little goal setting exercise right now. If you could wave a realistic magic wand and you could have your body, your health, and your energy any kind of way you want it to be between now and, say, a year from now, what would that look like for you? Think about it. If you could have it any kind of way you wanted, with your health, your energy, any kind of way you wanted it to be, what would that be? Get clear and specific. And I encourage you to include a body weight goal along with a body fat percent goal. If you're not familiar with them, I encourage you to kind of tune into it. There's a few different ways you can tune in. One is, a lot of the doctors nowadays at my doctor's office, they have a really cool, what's called a DEXA scan. And what it does is it'll measure your whole body. I mean, and when you're done, you get like a 3-page report from body fat percent, like muscle, all kind of details, hydration. Or if you want to hack, go online to Google and do a Google image search for men's and women's body fat percentages. And chances are you'll see some images that have from the leanest, like competitive physiques, to the most obese representation. And then you can find out where you're at somewhere in between. So say if you're a male watching this, say you look at the picture and decide based on the pictures, maybe you're 20% body fat. But say you have a goal of being 10 to 12% body fat. You can look at the picture and say, okay, that's the difference. You can visually look at it and see a difference. All right. So get clear and specific. Body weight, body fat percent. And then if you're open to it, set up your affirmation/prayer. Here it goes. I am happy and grateful now that I am your body weight and your body fat percent. You fill in the blank. I'm going to use myself as an example. My goal is to be at least 190 pounds at or below 10% body fat. I'm currently about 180 pounds at 10% body fat. So I have a clear, specific goal of gaining 10 pounds. And I believe all things are possible. I believe I can do it. All right. So what do? Okay. This is, I want you to understand the power of this affirmation/prayer. And understand too, you can move the bar along. It doesn't just have to be if you get to a certain point in your journey and you want to adjust it up or back, that's okay. It's your journey. Right? But it's important, I feel, to have that clear and specific goal. Okay, I'm going to use my example for you to consider it, and then you put your example in. This is my affirmation/prayer. I am happy and grateful now that I am at least 190 pounds and at or below 10% body fat. That is an affirmation/prayer for fitness, right? So if you get anything out of this video, if you're stopping by just to say hello, consider this affirmation / prayer to use on your fitness journey. So you set your clear, specific goal with a body weight and a body fat percent, and then you frame it with an affirmation / prayer. I am happy and grateful now that I am your body weight, your body fat percent. What are the 5 simple steps? Exercise, nutrition, recovery, supplementation, and mindset. Let's look at training for a moment. In your training department, in your training regimen, consider having a combination of both strength training and cardiovascular, a combination of each. Imagine for a moment that we're flying in a twin-engine airplane, and one engine is cardiovascular and one engine is strength. Ideally, we want to have both engines going on the airplane, not just one or the other. So in your exercise program, consider having cardiovascular activity and strength training activity. Does that make sense? Okay, hope that does. All right. Now, when building out your training, your strength training program, there are 5 principles of training to consider: proper form, variety, intensity, proper training principles, and consistency. Let's look at proper form. Why is proper form important? Think about it. A couple big reasons. One, so that we don't get hurt, don't get an injury, right? Talk about a setback. Injuries will set you back, right? Aside from that, so that we're exercising the muscle effectively. Does that make sense? So that's why proper form is so important. Now, how do you get good at proper form? One, you can hire a professional. As a personal trainer, I love teaching people proper form. I realize how important it is, and I'm right there with them. So many times people's elbows get in a funky way. They're bringing the weight to the wrong place. It's challenging. I get it. So go to a professional. One-on-one personal training. That's one way to do it, right? If you're doing it on your own, or actually you can also then too, this is another thing, you can get a virtual fitness trainer. It's about 1/3 the cost of personal training. I do virtual fitness training. What we do is I set you up with a program. You download an app. You follow the program. They have exercise demonstrations on the app. Every week, we have a 10-minute appointment where we review your challenges and your victories. If you're interested in that, message me the word FIT to my phone number, 520-400-9573 for consultation. That's really how it's set up. You have personal training, which is awesome. And you have virtual fitness training, which is about 1/3 of the cost of personal training. Then what if you're doing it on your own? Consider studying proper form. There's lots of ways to study proper form. One of the ways which I have learned so much is just studying other professionals on YouTube. So say you create a workout for yourself. Say you have, maybe 10 exercises that you potentially say you're going to have a workout tomorrow. Say you have 6 exercises you're doing for tomorrow. Take those 6 exercises, go on YouTube, look them up, review maybe 2 or 3 different exercises. I like the short ones better, so it gets right to it. and try to find and watch the demonstration and then go for it the next day. That's a great way to do it. So studying proper form, do it on your own or combination, do it with a virtual coach or do it with a personal trainer. Either way, one way or another, I encourage you to be a student. I'm still a student of proper form, still a student. I love studying proper form. It's just it's fascinating. And I encourage you to go at your fitness journey and studying proper form for yourself. I encourage you to go at it with a child's-like enthusiasm, really excited and fascinated. It's so funny when I'm watching videos about people where they're putting this elbow or where they're bringing it to. I just get fascinated. And that's why I'm a professional at what I do. But that's how you can get good at this, is just get fascinated by it, become a student of it. You can do it. All right. So that's proper form. Variety. Why is variety so important when it comes to an exercise program? Why should we mix it up occasionally? Have you ever heard of a plateau? Plateaus suck. I've felt them, been through them, watched other people go through them. You know what I most commonly see for plateaus are when people start working out and then they've been working out maybe 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, but then they're not changing things around. You start to hit that wall because what happens is we're all creatures of habit. So we tend to do the same exercises, the same rep patterns, the same tempo, the speed of the movement. And that's how you get plateaus. So people don't really realize that until they, you heard the term seek and ye shall find. Well, if you're seeking out this information, you'll find it. It's there. Variety will help keep things fresh for you in your workout. It'll keep your body physically stimulated and continuing in its progression. And it'll keep you mentally stimulated. I just changed mine this week. I usually enjoy about a 4-week routine and with little integral things within the 4 weeks. But like I'm on a 4-week routine and then another 4-week routine and then another 4-week routine. And speaking of that, I have if you see, there it is. Oh, yeah, right there. The app. Soon enough, there's going to be, they tell me, I've been working on it since August of 2024, but we're going to have a downloadable app that's going to have this insignia on it. Weight Loss Solutions. It'll be on the Android and iPhone with free workouts. I'm going to create it's in the process. It's going to have a bunch of 4-week workouts for beginners, intermediates, advanced, and you can download it for free. That's my goal. So pray that it comes soon. It's it's one of those technical things, and this week at least baiting back and forth and the whole thing, but I feel like we've done 95% of all the work need to be necessary to get it done. So hopefully within the next week or two we'll have it locked in, God willing. So we just talked about variety. We talked about proper form, variety. Now let's look at the third principle of a weight training program, intensity. What comes to mind when you think about exercising with intensity? What comes to mind? Training hard, right? Pushing yourself, challenging yourself, right? Imagine for a moment, say we're doing tricep extensions. We're doing tricep extensions. 10, 11, say we're going to 12. Barely getting number 12. Squeeze it. Oh, man, barely got it. But we got the 12th repetition. What's the most beneficial part of that set? The first few reps or the last few reps? And why? What do you think? Well, it'd be the last few reps, right? And why would it be the last few reps? That's where the challenge is, right? That's where the overload is, where you're challenging the muscle. So when you're pushing through the last few reps of a set and you're overloading the muscle, if the muscle could speak, it would say, I better grow back more muscle to deal with this stress that's being placed on me. So you stimulate it in the gym or at home or wherever you're working out. You eat enough nutrients to repair and grow back, but not too much to store as fat. And then you get your rest, you get your sleep, right? We're going to talk about that. And that's how the muscle grows, right? You stimulate it in the gym or at home, you stimulate it, you eat, you sleep, and then that's the cycle. That's the cycle of the fitness. We stimulate it, we eat, we sleep. Stimulate it, we eat, we sleep. It's that simple. But a lot of times people don't get through enough 4-week periods. You got to put, I said 4 weeks is how long to do a workout. But you got to, when you can put 3 or 4 weeks together, then you make a really big jump. But then imagine if you can put, like 12, 13, however, 4 weeks together in a year. Imagine what you can accomplish. A lot. The first 4 or 8 is probably the hardest because you're working towards it, but you're really going against a lot of resistance. It's really tough. And I understand that. And that's why, following these principles really makes a difference. So let's back up for a minute. We talking about the proper principles of training, which are proper form, variety. We were just talking about intensity. We're going to talk about the last 2, which is proper training principles and consistency. So proper training principles, just have fun with proper training principles. Do a Google search or a ChatGPT search and just look up personal or workout training principles or workout shocking training principles or bodybuilding weight training shocking principles and see what comes up. There's all sorts of things, and they're a lot of fun. Some of my favorites are like a superset when you do opposing muscle groups back to back, like a chest press to a lat pull, or you work biceps to triceps. You want a biceps to triceps, right? That makes sense. So a compound set is when you do 2 different exercises for the same muscle. So a chest press to a chest fly, right? So one of my favorite ones I'll share with you, then I'll move on, is the rest pause method. A rest pause method is where you're training along. You say we're going for 10 repetitions, 8. Say no, we're going for 10, and say we're going for 10, and we get stuck at 7. Okay. Can't go anymore. Put it down for a couple, 2 or 3 breaths, and then boom, 3 more. There you go. Rest pause method, right? So that's a good one of my favorites, especially when you're training by yourself. And if you're serious about working out, you're probably going to find yourself training by yourself at some point. It's good to have a coach or a partner, but you might at some point or another, you're going to probably find your situation where it's up to you. So I encourage you to, be one of those kind of people that just does it, right? So we just talked about proper form. So the 5 principles of training: proper form, variety, intensity, proper training principles, and last but not least is consistency. Consistency, so important. Imagine for a moment that we have you and say we have a twin of you. Based on your goals today, imagine you say we want to meet back here in 1 year to see who's done the best. Now you start off, you eat, you exercise consistently, You eat consistently. You get your rest consistently. The other person starts out that way, but misses a workout here and there, skips a good meal here and there, has more processed foods here and there, doesn't always get the full amount of sleep. At the end of the year, who's going to have the best progress? The consistent you, right? The consistent you. So that's why I wish for you is set your plan in motion and then go forth with consistency, right? So that in mind. Okay, so we talked about, we'll wrap up the 5 fundamentals of a good quality training program. Proper form, variety, intensity, proper training principles, and consistency. Now, let's look at nutrition. I feel there are basically 4 ways in which eating affects us, particularly on a fitness journey. I'm sure there's way more than this 4, but when it comes to our fitness journey, 4 majors, let's call it. Affects our energy levels, our metabolism, our insulin levels, and our blood sugar levels. All these things are affected. Now imagine for a moment that we want to build a 2-story house from scratch, your dream home. Now imagine if we only have half of the materials necessary to build this beautiful home. How far are we going to get? It's going to be part of the way up, right? The foods that you and I eat on a daily basis, the foods that we all eat, what builds our bodies. So whatever you're currently feeding your body, consider that. But then consider these other choices. Consider half of your diet. You can just consider it. Half your diet, fruits and vegetables. 25% whole grains. And about 25% proteins like legumes, lentils, nuts, seeds, plant-based protein powders. If you want to dig and watch a fun documentary, consider watching The Game Changers on Netflix. And it's also on YouTube. Right? Now, I made the point that the foods that we eat on a daily basis are like the supply. So it's important to eat enough foods every day to build our bodies. But at the same time, we don't want to eat the wrong kind of things where it's what they call spills over and converts to fat. So let's look at the types of foods that we eat. Now, imagine for a moment that we have a fireplace. On one hand, we have a stack of oak wood, and on the other hand, we have a stack of paper. Now, not including kindling and getting the fire started, but if you had to choose between the oak wood or the paper to burn in your fireplace, which one would you pick and why? Think about it. Would you rather have the oak wood to burn in the fireplace, not including kindling, getting it started? If you had to choose the oak wood or the paper to burn all day long in the fireplace, which one would you pick and why? Well, most of us would pick the oak wood. Right, and why? Why do you think that? The oak wood is going to burn longer, slower, last longer, right? Now, some foods burn more like the oak wood, and some foods burn more like the paper. like processed foods and sugars and alcohols and most breads, candy, stuff like that. So consider a nice whole food plant-based diet full of fruits and vegetables and whole grains and legumes, lentils, nuts, and seeds, right? It's gonna burn slower, more steady, and that's gonna give you a steady metabolism. It's gonna give you steady energy levels, and you think your insulin and blood sugar levels are gonna be more stable when you have a high fiber diet and you're eating healthy foods. Your blood sugar and insulin is gonna be steady cruising, and that's what I wish for you. From the time that you first eat to the time that you last eat, which I encourage you to at least consider at least 2 hours prior to sleep. Just a steady eddy, just steady cruising. Blood sugar and insulin just even. No spikes, right? We don't want that. Any questions, let me know. I'm going to be here every Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. No, 1:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. Now, let's look at recovery. Over the last few years, I've trained 3 different neurologists. I've done lots of research on people that discuss sleep. The common denominator I've come up with is at least 7.5 to 9 hours sleep range, getting at least 2 hours of REM and 2 hours of deep. Well, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm recommending. But I haven't been measuring it, so I'm really curious about the measurables. If you're using measurables and tracking your sleep, I'm fascinated. I'd be curious to see how your experience is going and what kind of platform. Is it a Fitbit or is it the iPhone watch that tracks it? But tracking sleep and all this stuff, it's quite interesting. But I haven't been tracking it, but I have been doing it. So I've been getting I find that I need about 9 hours in the bed to get a good 8.5 quality hours of sleep, and to get that what I feel like is probably 2 hours, close to 2 hours deep, 2 hours REM, because I dream but I'd like to measure it. I just know that I feel great every day, and I'm so grateful for that I feel healthy and vibrant, lots of energy, just amazing. At a biological age of 56, I just surprised I feel this great. So, but happy and grateful. All right, so happy and grateful for that. So we talked about recovery. And that, to me, that's one more thing I'll leave taper off with this, is that that this is probably one thing a lot of the experts are saying. If you just did everybody, the number one thing, almost everyone on the planet, if they did it better, is sleep. So if you optimize your sleep every night, you're doing yourself a great service. So something to consider. So we talked about the 5 simple steps. So first, you have your clear, specific goal. Then we talked about the 5 simple steps: exercise, nutrition, recovery, supplementation, mindset. Now, we're just going to look at supplementation. I feel there are basically 2 different categories of supplementation. There's nutritional supplementation and enhancement performance supplementation. Nutritional supplementation is like a meal protein shake. And an enhancement performance supplement is like a creatine monohydrate or a prescription from a doctor, any kind of prescription stuff you may or may not be taking. But that goes into the enhancement performance section, right? So we have exercise, nutrition, recovery, supplementation, right? Definitely helps. And then last but not least is mindset. Your mindset is so important on your fitness journey. That's why I started this with setting a goal and then setting an affirmation/prayer. I'll review it right now. So it's important to have a clear, specific goal with your fitness journey. That's the secret to better health. So imagine you have a body weight goal and a body fat percent goal. And then you frame it with an affirmation/prayer saying, I am happy and grateful now that I am your body weight and your body fat percent goal. I'll say mine for you now. I am happy and grateful now that I am at least 190 pounds and at or below 10% body fat, feeling strong and healthy like a supple leopard, thick brown hair, 20/20 vision, perfect teeth, supple skin. See how you can go on and make your own, dream it up, right? The mindset, this is where the mindset comes in. One of the things when building out your fitness blueprint, your fitness goal, is to be really clear and specific about everything you want. Your hair, your skin, your eyes, your teeth, everything you can think of. Set a goal to be the best, if that's what you want. But set a goal to be the best you can be. You're watching The Secret to Better Health. This is one of the secrets to better health. The mindset is you're setting, I'm happy and grateful now that I have these goals. You're going for it, but you got to know what you're going for. If you don't have a goal, if you don't have a target, how you know where to go? You're not going to know. So the mindset is going to get you through those tough days when you don't feel like exercising. Your mindset tells your body what to do, not the other way around. If you say you're going to do a 4-week exercise program, 4 times a week for 4 weeks, you follow through. There's no excuses. There's no ringing the bell. You follow through. It's your health. Everything else is on the line. It's important for you to be healthy, to be here for your family, your friends. This is your health. It's priority. But your mindset is the one that establishes that. And if you know you're working out tomorrow at a certain time, it's almost nothing's going to stop you. So the mindset. So have a clear, specific goal. Realize you're going against resistance, right? It's sort of like, imagine you're in an ocean. And if you've ever been in the ocean, you get these, what they call the rip tide, or the drip pulls you as you're trying to stay in one place. You kind of get pulled along and along down the surf. Well, as you are on your fitness journey, you are going against that resistance. Imagine that. But your training, your nutrition, you're sleeping, getting it every night, you're supplementing intelligently, you're daily working on your mindset, being consistent with all these activities. That's how you cut through that resistance. You're cutting through. You cut through that. It's that daily repetition. It's your daily consistency that's going to cut you through that resistance. It's your daily consistency. The mindset, that's what's going to lead you through it. Or it can break you down. It can say, take the night off or whatever. That's why I suggest, if you can, exercise in the morning before you have a chance to talk yourself out of it, or at least midday. But the mindset will trick you, or it can help you. Let's put your mindset to work. Set up your clear, specific affirmation. I am happy and grateful now that I am your body weight, your body weight goal. And then we're going to back it up. The 5 simple steps of exercise, nutrition, recovery, supplementation, and mindset. With training, you're going to have a blend of cardiovascular training, and strength training combo. And with your strength training, you're going to follow the 5 fundamentals of strength training. You're going to have proper form, you're going to have variety, intensity, proper training principles, and consistency. That's going to make up your quality training program. And then with recovery, you're going to get that 7.5 to 9 hours sleep a night, 2 hours of REM, and about 2 hours of deep sleep. You're going to supplement intelligently, choosing to either or not use nutritional supplement shakes or enhancement performance supplements. And last but not least, you're going to have a powerful mindset, because every day you're going to be saying, I am happy and grateful now that I am, and you state your goal. And then you back it up with your actions. You back it up with your training, your workouts. That's where the rubber meets the road when you get through that workout. Get on the other side of that workout, you accomplished it. And you're following through on the nutrition. You're following through on the recovery. I encourage you to be the best you can be. Remember that health is wealth. This show is also, this YouTube channel is also a fitness and finance channel. I'm going to be posting more stuff about that if you're curious. But the lingo goes, health is wealth. That's the top. Because without our health, what other parts of, what does it matter what earthly possessions we have or don't have? But health is wealth. Your health is wealth. Health is wealth. Cash flow is king. Cash is queen. And credit is freedom. I'll let you think about that. I'll be back every Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, God willing, at 1:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be blessed. Bye for now.